G. Bush, I'm glad you're here today because when I have specific topics that are meant just for you, you typically call out the next day. So I made sure to send a group chat text last night saying, G, there's going to be a topic in today's show that is designed for you. If you call out, I know something's up. And I'm glad you showed up.
Showed up today.
G, I asked 2 different NBA coaches this question. I'll tell you their answer at the end, but I want to hear your guys' opinion on this first.
Okay.
If Emoni Bates was in this year's draft, the one that just concluded yesterday, and not the 2022-2023 NBA draft,
No.
would he have been a first-round pick? G, the floor is yours.
Did you watch this draft? Did you see this draft? Like, these dudes was like regular. I mean, these guys, we played the name game, right? And McNuggets had guys that was scoring 5 and 6 points. That was mocked to the Cavs at 20. Of course, he would have been a first-round pick. So here's the thing too. I need to stop playing around too because people try to be acting like this Emoni Bates is just a nice little cute story that we laugh and joke about. If you ain't really seen him play, go back and check it. Like let's keep it real. Like go back and check him in high school. Check when he was the player of the year at 17 years old, right? Cover of Sports Illustrated. One of the things that happens when you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated is people get this inflated sense of now it's a target. Now it's like
the expectations get ratcheted way up.
They go to the ceiling. So you start to look at stuff like that, and then when it happens, like if you even compare it, right? We got our guy that we drafted this year. We got Emoni Bates, right? You take a look at their resumes, right? Now, when you talk about Emoni Bates, the first thing they say is, oh, Memphis. Oh, he went to Memphis, couldn't cut it. He went to Eastern Michigan. He transferred 2 schools. They use it. They're like, oh, listen, he's immature, a lot of different things on and off the court. Kid this year, he transferred 3 times. He got into an altercation with a coach. Emoni Bates off the court stuff, right? But you say he wins the press conference. That's because it's all about the perception and reality that you come in with, right? And this kid...
Well, there were other issues, too, with the Monty.
What, with the gun?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's... You got to look at it like this. You got to understand where Memphis is. I completely understand.
I do understand where Memphis is. It seems like everybody that goes to Memphis to play sports needs a gun. And that may or may not be true, but still, to compare the two,
but here's what
you're
I'm saying.
leaving out one huge piece of that puzzle.
I know people that live in the city of Memphis, Young Dolph. I know people that live in the city of Memphis, Big Juke. I know people that are celebrities. They go to Memphis and they die. Like, it is no games, right? You're a 17, 18-year-old kid. Everybody know who you is. Extortion in the hood is always alive and well.
He chose to go there, G.
I get it. Listen, we choose to go a lot of different places, but when you're there, when you're in a situation...
I'm not going to Beirut on vacation.
Well, listen, there are some people that choose... That's why the United States has a visa list. They're like, listen, do not go to Egypt, do not go to Beirut, do not go to Iran, Iraq, a list of other places. Here's what I will say. When you talk about Emoni Bates' game, and when you go back and you watch his G League games, there's one thing that's heavily available right now, is the fact that the man can shoot, the man has elite offensive ability, the man has an elite knack to make tough shots. I look at him not so much as like he's Kevin Durant. I look at him as like a J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith was a guy who got drafted out of high school and never went to college, went to the Nuggets, and J.R. Smith was known as a guy like a head case. He got with LeBron, got to a place where people trusted in him, and they don't win a championship if it's not for J.R. Smith and his defense ability and ability to shoot. He's shown the ability to do that at a high level, and when you watch his games, just go pull it up. You'll see it. It's evident. He's able to make tough shots. I think this year, and the reason Emoni Bates didn't play wasn't anything that he did. He didn't play because they put the red shirt on him. And granted or whatever, the goal for Emoni Bates was I want to see if you can make it through. I want to see if you can manage your life. I want to see if you can manage your time, energy, money, do what you need to do, stay out of trouble.
And he did that for the most part. He did have one hiccup.
But he did that. He did that for the most part. And now it's like, okay, now I got an opportunity. Now it's game time. But we didn't want another Kevin Porter Jr.
Right.
Kevin Porter Jr. they drafted. He had a lot of things going on. He's now out of the league. They didn't want that happening. So I think Kobe Altman put the red shirt on him. But make no mistake about it. the kid has elite ability to score the basketball, and just don't take it from me. Ask Gilbert Arenas.
Hey, listen, if Emoni Bates was in this year's draft, I think Emoni would have been a first-round pick, and he probably would have been drafted in the lottery. I think people need to stop acting like. I think people need to stop acting like at one point in time he was not the highest recruit ever coming out of high school. I think people need to stop acting like that Emoni Bates can't ball. I know G sit up and joke a lot about the Emoni Bates thing and whatever, but the truth of the matter is he's a 6'8" bucket getter. He has a lot of talent. Does he have a lot to learn? Yes. But the opportunities that he was given was few far in between, and he never really got a real chance to show what he can do on a pro level. I think that a lot of people try to use a lot of fancy words and terminology and, system this and IQ that and set this. But at the end of the day, man, this game is about buckets. And if Emoni Bates is a certified bucket getter and that's willing to put in the work and got his head on straight, then he deserves our opportunity to show what he can do. I think, too, he was red-shirted because of Kevin Porter Jr. I think that was a situation that Kobe Altman looked at
him slowly
and said, okay, I made this mistake. I have to learn from this. I can't do this the same way. Let's bring him along like real slow. He sat here with me, G, and I think McNuggets. We did an interview with Emoni Bates.
Yep.
And, I asked him about what he had to say about the naysayers who says he's never going to be anything. He told me, I know I'm a star. I know I'm going to be a star in this league one day. All I have to do is keep the main thing the main thing. If Emoni continues to do what he's been doing, work hard and keep the main thing the main thing, we got a future star in our hands. I really believe that.
I don't know about future star. That's a high bar.
It is.
But I think he can be a contributor, a regular contributor, and a really nice piece.
Zay, do you think he got star potential?
I thought he did. There are holes in his game.
Right.
And I'm being nice right now. Now, again, it comes back to who the head coach is. When you look at what we have now in an elite player development guy, Atkinson can, I think he's the right guy to get the most out of Emoni Bates.
I think he benefits Emoni. I think he benefits Evan Mobley. He benefits Craig Porter Jr. He benefits Jalen Tyson, DJ Burns. So, based on how this roster is constructed, we keep talking about we don't have an athletic wing. We keep talking about we don't have the size and the perimeter shooting.
It's what
Emoni Bates fits the bill. And so, I want to see what Kenny Atkinson gets out of him. Are you guys concerned, though,
about his physical? He's slight, guys.
Well, I've seen him.
He is slight.
I've seen him on the internet. It looked like he didn't put on about 5 to 6 pounds.
I don't know, Mike. You've seen him in person. I think sometimes, because they used to say the same thing about Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant never gained any weight.
No, but
sometimes he's just. Some people are just tall and lanky like that.
No, I agree with you on that. I think Kevin Durant has a skill set, though, that allows him to get by with his frame. First of all, to answer the original question, yeah, he's a first-round draft pick, I think. I think just because the talent comparison from last year to this year is so stark, I don't think he's a lottery pick. I think he's a late first-round pick, perhaps an early second-round pick. I want to hear, Mike, what the coaches had to say on that, and I also want your evaluation on, can he be a star? I do think he can. I think he can have a long career in the NBA as a role guy that is a regular contributor. I would love it if he ever gets to that star level. Wow, what a home run this is. But my bar for him is to be on the roster for a number of years and to become a guy that we can look to in key situations, and that includes playoff rotation, as a regular contributor, make this team better.
If you look at Emoni Bates' skill set and what he's good at, if those get maxed out, that is the makings of a star.
Okay.
A 6'9" shot creator who can shoot off the dribble, can shoot in catch and shoot situations, can create off the dribble for himself. Not passing still needs some work for sure. That's definitely not.
I don't even give him
a strength in his game at the moment.
He doesn't pass.
Playmaking is not a strength of his game.
At the moment, that could always change. But you look at the attributes of a 6'9" guy who can score by himself. There's a lot of stars in the NBA that come from that same archetype.
I agree with
So if
that.
everything maxes out, Emoni Bates certainly could be a star.
Wow.
Will it happen? Who knows?
Can you do something for me? I don't know. You showed his G League numbers. Do we have his NBA numbers when he was up? I know they were small
I can tell
sample
you
size.
in 1 sec, yeah.
Put up his G League numbers and then tell us what his NBA equivalent were for whatever stats that you put on that G. Because we know what the G League is. And we know that a player like him, and I don't want to say he's a selfish player, but he's about his, okay? He's going to get his when he's on the court, and there's not going to be a lot of ball movement from him to other players when he's out there.
But you need a couple guys like that. Lou Williams is a guy like that. 6 men off the bench. Jamal Crawford. You sometimes Vinny microwave. You need sometimes instant offense. If you go back and watch the Cavs, there are times when you're trying to bring one of the Morris twins off the bench to give you something. We talk about we need shooting and spacing. Sometimes you need a guy to come in and be like, oh, listen, I'm open today. Like that's the type of time you want.
So what were his equivalents?
I mean, he played 15 games.
Right.
He technically averaged 8.9 minutes per game, but that completely varied. Some games he actually played, and other games he came in the last minute. He averaged 2.7 points, 0.9 rebounds, 0.7 assists. He averaged 3.3 shot attempts per game, shot 30.6% from the floor, and on 2.2 3-point attempts per game, he shot 30.3%. Impossible to get into a rhythm.
But I know it is. But when you're the arc that you speak of, before you become a star, you have to maximize and contribute in the minutes you're on the floor. What really jumps out at me is the lack of sharing the ball and the field goal percentage. What was his field goal percentage?
In the NBA or the G League?
NBA.
30.6.
That's red flags all over.
I mean, how many games did he play?
I think he played like 15.
15.
I was at the first game he played, I think when we played the New York Knicks on Halloween. I was at that game, and if I'm not mistaken, the minutes he got was after the Knicks was already blowing us out, right?
Okay, so what that means, though, is he's playing likely against their second team.
But at the same time, like, I don't remember him getting many touches during that stretch.
Yeah, I don't remember the individual games. I just remember anecdotally when I think
I just know you say, like,
I think he missed a lot of shots.
I know you say, like, he has holes in this game, and he does. But I think any player that's 18, 19, then been in college for a year or two,
I get it.
9 times out of 10, they do have like holes in their game. The Cavaliers handled him whichever way they thought was best last year. J.B. Bickerstaff didn't give him many meaningful opportunities to develop as an NBA player. My thing is this. If you don't get an opportunity to learn how to be a pro in real time, going against other pros in real situations, then your development is being stunted a little bit. And so it goes back to Kenny Atkinson. I'm not sure what the Emoni Bates situation will look like this year with him on the Cavs roster.
Yeah.
But if he has a full contract and he's on this roster and coaches actually take time to develop him, I really believe he can reach his potential of being a star. Now, to your point, the floor, a serviceable role player. The ceiling, a star player. Either way, the Cavaliers will take that.
And the way he plays in this game, and listen, here's why the G League stuff translates, right? You watch his game. The basket's 10 feet, right? When you see him pulling up, these are guys that are in his face. And it's like, oh, that's going down.
Yeah, but it's not NBA defense.
But a shot hand is a shot hand. Like, yeah, if your hand is here.
Mike, am I overstating this? The defenses that he sees in the NBA are dramatically different. Just in the G League, it's like every man for himself. Everybody's out gathering stats.
He averaged 19.8 points per game in the G League. Where do you think that ranked in the G League?
I'd say very, very high.
G, what do you think?
Actually, you know what? Their numbers are really wonky. I remember looking at them once.
At one point in time, he was like the top 3 scorer in the G League.
I'm going to say top 7.
G, what do you say? 19.8 points. Where do you think that ranks in the G League?
Probably 15th.
Jay?
I don't think that high.
29th.
Yeah.
So he's not pull. Like, here's the thing. Here's what we got to get to, right? We can sit here and we can say that, he has holes in his game, but George Niang is a one-trick pony, and we put him out there. We continue to put him out there. And Max Strus didn't hit shots the whole year. We continue to run him out here. He's 6'4". He's supposed to be a shooter. At the end of the year, Sam Merrill didn't make no shots ever, and he's a defensive liability. So my thing is, yes, he has liability. He has different things that he needs to work
Yeah,
on.
but Merrill had some moments where
But
he was one of the hottest shooters in the league for a stretch.
I
But
get
Merrill
that.
was given the opportunity.
He got the
though.
opportunity to show that.
But in total, he played probably 120 minutes.
Who?
Emoni Bates.
I can tell you exactly.
I mean, probably 100, maybe 130 minutes.
I mean, but
that's
Out of all the raw guys that we talked about, raw talent guys that we talked about last year, Sam Merrill and Craig Porter Jr. was the only two that really got true significant opportunities to show what they had to do.
Yeah, but I would argue till the cows come home that in the 120 or 30 minutes that we saw him, I didn't see anything that told me we need to see more of this.
Okay, let me give you this.
Now, I'm just being honest, guys.
Well, listen. Hey, go back, watch the Atlanta Hawks preseason game.
And I don't even really want to give a lot of credence to that.
But that's NBA players, right?
It is NBA players, but come on, it's preseason. I'll give you a million examples of guys that played NFL preseason games and looked like they were MVPs and didn't make the club.
So what I'm saying to you is, when you look at this opportunity, the dude played, how many games is it in a year?
82 games.
82.
He played in 15.
He played in 15 of the 80 something. Like, that's like saying a pitcher is garbage because he got hit hard in 2 starts. No.
Well, I got to see more than 2 starts, and I think we did.
I mean, he didn't start.
To a baseball equivalent, that would be for a pitcher to get 30 appearances. If you're a bullpen guy and you get 30 appearances, that's okay.
Well,
that's a lot of opportunity for me to see what you can do.
G, to your point, real quick, he played more than 10 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. In 5 of the 15 games, he played more than 10 minutes. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, he played less than 4 minutes.
Yeah, now those I would say, I don't want to look at those heavily. The other thing, too, is in those games, he was likely playing against the second team.
And that's what I was saying earlier. Those 15 games, if you look at those games, 4 or 5 games, he played 10 minutes plus. The other games, he played no more than 5 minutes throughout the season.
Right.
And then, depending on what's going on in the game, he's not getting opportunity to really be efficient.
Do you
and
think he'll get more minutes next year with Kenny Atkinson? You do?
I really do.
I think he will, too. I think he will, too, particularly early in the year. But I think my whole point here is it's not like we didn't see him. We saw him. When I saw him, if I'm just being honest and I'm saying, is this a guy I need to see more of, it was easy for me to say, not right now. Maybe not ever, but not right now.
I beg to differ. You go watch some Summer League games. You go watch the G League games that he played in. They didn't give him really opportunity. My thing is this. Sam Merrill played a whole lot, a bunch. Beginning of the season to end, Craig Porter Jr. played a lot. What we're saying is Emoni Bates did not play that level of minutes. He didn't get that opportunity. We're not saying that he won't get it now because guess what? All of them get a shot. You start over brand new. Kenny Atkinson is in there. You got an opportunity. If Emoni Bates is listening, go prove it to the new coach. Because now everything starts over. You got to make an impression. You got to play ball. Everybody got to play ball. But I agree that I think that he did not get the opportunity he deserved. That was last year. This is this year. It's a new game. I think he will get more.
I know we talked about the things that he went through off the court, but, for him to be a teenager, to go through those things, he told us during that interview, he said, he believes the adversity he went through early on in life is going to make him a better man as he goes forward. And sometimes the mistakes made and the consequences that you have to suffer, some people don't do that until they hit their 30s and 40s. And it's kind of harder to bounce back and recover when you make some of those mistakes later on in life. I just think this is a young man that's attempting to grow up, attempting to mature, attempting to grow his game, and he really believes that he can be a star. And again, he said, if I keep the main thing, everything that I believe will come true. All you need is an opportunity, and I hope the Cavs give him that opportunity.
I hope he gets the opportunity, too, because you do got to find out what you have.
Yeah.
The equivalent that I would give for him is like a Kyle Manzardo. Kyle Manzardo's numbers in AAA absolutely demand that he be a major leaguer. They demand it. Mm-hmm. He's not just hitting AAA pitching. He is slaughtering AAA pitching. I would say Kyle and his presence in his minor league is more dominant than Emoni was in the G League. And we saw Kyle come up and he got a month. And I'm not saying by any means am I saying, okay, that experiment's over.
Yeah.
But we saw it for a month, and it wasn't it. and now he's back in the minor leagues. Now, my true hope is for Emoni Bates, because you said his ceiling is a star.
If you max out the attributes.
I don't even need him to be a star. I don't. I need him to be a serviceable, role-filling contributor that the Cavs can rely on in part of their playoff rotation. You mentioned some guys, the guys they brought in last year in Strus and Yang. They're specialists. They do certain things really, really well. What is the thing that he does that is exceptional? And
shoot off the dribble, shoot off the catch,
but
create
when we
a shot.
saw that in the NBA, we just didn't see that. He shot 30% from the field. I can't call a 30% shooter an exceptional shooter.
It's a very small sample size.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Let's end it this way. We need to see more.
So I asked 2 coaches. I simply texted them, if Emoni Bates was in this draft class, not last year, is he a first-round pick? These are the 2 answers I got from an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference coach. The first coach said he might have been a borderline first this year.
Which is what I thought.
And then Coach 2 says probably goes higher than he did last year.
But didn't commit to first or second round.
First or second.
All right. And that's what I think. That's exactly what I said. I think he would be perhaps high-end, a late first round. Worst case, he would be an early second round.
Mike, let me ask you. I said he would possibly be a lottery pick. Is that pushing it?
That's too high.
When you compare this year's class and the level of talent plus potential, is it far-fetched to say he would have been a lottery pick?
I mean, I just asked 2 NBA coaches, and they said,
I'm just your opinion.
I don't think he would have been a lottery pick. No.
Yeah.
No. First round pick, definitely in play. Lottery pick, I do not think so.
It's probably better
jump
for him that he wasn't too, because
jump
with
from
that
49 to
comes
the
even
lottery.
more expectations. I like the fact that the Cavs did one very smart thing this year. They kept him under the radar, and probably because the Porter experiment went so sideways. But I like what they're doing with him. And I like what he said. Did someone send in our text group last week his sort of montage message video on social media? Was that in our text group, or was that in one that I have going with guys upstairs at Channel 3?
Not sure.
I saw a video from Emoni Bates where he's kind of talking about the process and the whole thing. I like what he's doing. I like that he stayed out of trouble for the most part.
He's handling it the right way.
He's handling it the right way. And I am rooting for this kid as hard as anybody can root for someone. Because you talked about he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in high school. The one thing I don't think we give LeBron James enough credit for is the fact that this man was put on the cover at 16 and never did anything but deliver. He was an A-plus citizen. He's an A-plus father. He's been arguably one of the greatest to ever do it. And he had all the pressure that someone can have on him at that age. And he didn't fold. And what the reasons kid actors go sideways is because they're told their whole life they're the greatest thing ever. And there's high expectations that they can't live up to. Next thing you know, they're doing drugs and they're in the gutter somewhere. That never happened to LeBron James.
Home Alone was my favorite movie series.
look at that poor kid.
That was my favorite movie series.
We're going to talk a little guards now.